budget meeting. Everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Legislator Birmingham?
Here.
Legislator Elner?
Here.
Chairman Goulden?
Present. Thank you. Item number 3, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes from March 24th, 2025 meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 4, we have the Director of Tourism with us tonight, Tara Keegan. Would you like to come up and talk about this item?
Thank you, Chairman Goulden, Legislator Birmingham, and Legislator Elner. Good evening to you both, Legislator Russo and Legislator Sage. I know Legislator Crowley is here as well, so good evening to her as well. Thank you for allowing me to come before you this evening to talk about this resolution. It's just our annual request for the approval of our resolution designating the Department of Tourism as the Tourist Promotion Agency, the TPA, for the county as part of the grant application for I Love New York. As you know, I Love New York funding is our largest component of our budget that we do rely on, and this resolution is part of that process. The language of the resolution hasn't changed, except for the only change would be the effective date. The effective date would change to December 31st, 2026.
All right. Anyone from the committee have a question or comment? Any legislator have a comment or question? Anyone from the audience? Okay, and seeing there are none, I make a motion designating Putnam County Tourism as the tourism promotion agency for the county. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 5 is a FYI, the unemployment report. The most recent numbers we have is July 2025, 53,800 Putnam County residents were employed. Last year, same time, August 2024, 53,300 Putnam County residents have been employed. So we are up from last year. That's great news. Item number 6 is other business. We have Bill Nulk with us, the chairman of the IDA. Hello, Mr. Nulk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
What was that? Okay. Make a motion
Okay, Bill.
He hasn't said it.
I'll second.
Turn on the microphone.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I think he needs his microphone.
Anyway, it is. Is this on?
Sorry.
Good evening. I'm just here to give a quick heads up that we've been approached by one of the short-term rental companies about setting up some kind of a fee operation for their operations, and in most cases it involves some kind of a tax arrangement with either the immediate locales or the counties, something like that. And so I just wanted to, we talked about this back in 2020, and we kind of weren't really excited about it at that point. It wasn't very, big, and we just had our first, especially for the IDA, the first franchise hotel come into play. So we were saying, well, no, we don't want anything like that. But now it's something to take a look at again for a number of different reasons. And I just wanted to give you a heads up that that's coming down the pipe. We'll be talking to these people next week, and we'll have more information for you next month.
Thank you for the update. Any comments or questions from the committee?
Just if I could, a quick question, Bill. Is this in the nature of a bed tax or an occupancy tax?
Yes.
Okay. In 2020, I wasn't here, but I know we were down this road back in 2012, and it's obviously a very different legislature now and a different administration.
That's kind of why I'm bringing it up.
No, and that's
Heads up,
that's
so-
well appreciated. It's a bit of a steep hill to climb, though. New
Any
taxes.
comments from anyone? From the audience? Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Seeing there's no other new business, make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the second of 5 meetings.
Yep. Yeah, we've got, good evening and welcome to the August 25th meeting of the Rules and Enactments Committee. I'd ask us all to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Legislator Elner, would you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd ask the clerk to call the roll.
Legislator Elner?
Here.
Legislator Goldman?
Present.
Chairman Birmingham?
Here, good evening. Welcome to the Rules Committee meeting. We have a few items on the agenda tonight. Most of them are fund transfers or other financial aspects. They will also, should they pass out of this committee, be entertained by the Audit Committee tonight. I do want to make a mention, because two of my colleagues has raised my chairman's report is kind of like a preview of the agenda, and two of my colleagues asked me about item 11, other business of any matters proposed by a member of the legislature. At this committee meeting last month, there was some confusion as to what other business entails on a committee level. Historically, that's been for any matter to be raised either from the agenda, which may not have been covered under one of the items, or for a legislator to bring up other business. Sometimes there's people who sit through our what can be rather long meetings, thinking that other business is a catch-all for anything that might want to come up for a legislative committee to entertain. That's happened every now and then, and I feel bad every time it happens. But the best way to get anything on an agenda item is for a constituent or anyone else to approach the respective chair of that committee to put it on the agenda, or at least to be discussed. So that's really the purpose of item 11. There's nothing that I know of that any legislator wants to bring up tonight at item 11. But I didn't want anybody here tonight, like happened at last month's meeting, to think that, after wading through what might be a weighty agenda, to think that item 11, other business, would be a catch-all for anything else dealing with rules. So that's really just the reason why you see the nomenclature under other business a little different this month. And I plan on having that in my future agendas going forward, and I'd encourage my other chairs, colleagues who chair committees to do the same, but of course that's up to you. So that's the end of my chairman's report. Item 4, acceptance of minutes. We don't need a motion on this, do we? Yeah, we're going to accept the minutes from March 17th, St. Patty's Day. We might recall we were all here for that. Some of us were wearing green. Item number 5, approval of budgetary transfer for county contribution out of subcontingency for the Garrison Arts Center. I understand there might be folks from the Garrison Arts Center who might be here today. Welcome, sir. Would you mind coming up and joining us? Sure. Thank you. This was brought to us by Legislator Montgomery. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to be here this evening, but she did want to let us know that she's in favor of all of these, obviously, for her putting them forward. So we thank her for that, and thank you for joining us. If you wouldn't mind stating your name and the group you represent, obviously.
Yeah, sure. My name's Sean. Do I have to push something?
You do. Is there green?
Now
There you
It's
go.
green.
Okay.
My name is Sean Conway. I'm the president of the board of the Garrison Arts Center. We are a 61-year-old nonprofit art school and small gallery on the waterfront in Garrison. We have been in a building pretty much since our inception that was built in the 1840s, and while charming and beautiful and inspiring, it has certain limitations when it comes to accessibility and some restraints. So we've, the first step in what we hope will be a productive process of making some updates to the building is doing an accessibility study of the facilities so that we can start to make plans for improvements over the next couple of decades, but hopefully, we'll say 10 years. So that's the nature of the request that Legislator Montgomery put in for us.
Great. Well, thank you for that presentation, and certainly something that, as a contract agency, which you would be if this passes, it's something where the county and your agency would enter into a contract, and you would be performing a county service on behalf of the county. A lot of our, if not all of our contract agencies, that's the relationship we have. It's not a grant we're giving. It's not anything that is a gift. It's rather we're asking, or you're asking us to perform a county service, and I would imagine, and it would be reduced to writing with the law department, that the county purpose here would be cultural and historic, which are all county purposes. So we'd be fulfilling our mandate, and you'd be helping us do that if this passes. So just you're new to the county outside agency process, I believe, are you not?
We've received funding from the Putnam Arts Council before, but not directly from the legislature.
Great. And it's just a process. I'm being a bit of a
course.
lawyer here by giving
Yeah.
you the legalese, but thank you for that presentation. Certainly sounds very worthy, and I intend to support it.
Great.
Any of my colleagues on the committee have any comments? Any members of my colleagues from the legislature? Yes.
So during the process, during the budget process, when we discuss outside agencies, we ask all the outside agencies to submit their requests, provide us with their 990s, and fill out the application, go through the application process, and then it goes to the county executive for funding. In this case, Boscobel, did you fulfill those?
We're the Garrison Arts
The
Center.
Garrison Arts Council.
Oh, for the Garrison.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was Jonathan on there too, for the Garrison Arts Center. Did you fulfill that process? Did you go through the process? Did you have the 990s and everything on file?
I don't believe we did, but that's certainly something that we can provide if the legislature requests it.
Well, I'm not sure it's a legislative mandate that happens. It might be an administrative requirement.
The budget process, and I
Yeah.
think that's where it came in with the
Okay.
funding for the outside agencies. The outside agencies.
Yeah, Commissioner of Finance will require.
They will? Okay. Erin?
Yeah, that's something that,
We do require? Okay.
yeah, for all outside agencies, we require the 990s and the application purpose. They have to fulfill, as you said, county function.
Yep.
Contract.
Erin?
While I agree there's money in subcontingency, and I think it's a great thing, we have to treat everybody exactly the same, and everybody has to go through the same vetting, and it wouldn't be fair if we didn't do that. And I believe wholeheartedly that those papers should be produced and go through the same type of vetting that everybody else had to, because it would be unfair then. And again, I think it's a wonderful institution and filled with a lot of culture and wonderful things, but then if we stop doing it for one, then it kind of becomes a problem. So, that's what we've always required, and doesn't mean we won't get it, it just means that we kind of have to, I think personally that we should maybe table this item until we get those documents.
Yeah, I don't think there's any, you're right, typically it does happen during the budget process, but from what I understand, I wasn't on the legislature last year when this was placed in subcontingency, which was rather unique, from what I understand. I don't see why they can't be done in tandem. The county administration, and you have an absolute valid point that everybody should be treated the same, and to the extent whatever requirements from a documentary standpoint are needed, if they check the boxes, I don't see that we need to delay it. If they don't check all the boxes, we're just appropriating the money. The administration spends it.
Right, so this
Yeah.
is through the chair, and that money sitting in subcontingency isn't doing anybody any good.
Right.
We're coming up in budget season, so it's ridiculous to keep it there.
Exactly.
My point is that we need to have a procedure, we need to make sure we're following that procedure and welcoming new agencies, old agencies, and continuing a process that is a standardized process and equitable to all.
Right. No, I don't disagree. Those are very good points. And you did raise a point about the money, and I don't want to put her on the spot. Michelle, we've got 3 or 4 items on the agenda tonight of varying amounts. I think they're all around $10,000. Obviously, we have enough in the bucket for everybody tonight? Okay. And as Erin was saying, we are coming to the end of the fiscal year, and if this was January or February, we'd probably want to be a bit more which we were, actually, back in February, we did take a wait and see with a lot of these, and now that we're in July or August, hitting September, now's the right time to do it if we are going to take it out of subcontingency. So I don't disagree with you. Yes?
So would we consider moving this to next month to get the paperwork? Let us all look it over, because it would be unfair to the other agencies that had to wait, like the Putnam Arts Council, who had to wait months and months and months. That was an ordeal, and they did all the right things.
Yep.
And that would be very unfair for us to do that without having that very paperwork in front of us. So I would like to request as a legislator, I'm not on the committee, but personally I'd like to request that, again, we treat everybody fair, welcoming new and old, but putting it over 1 month, getting those documents,
Yep.
letting Michelle look them over, and also making sure we have a procedure for this
Yep.
that we're following, and putting it on for next month to then validate those forms, understand that they've been treated exactly the same as everybody else, because other agencies are very patient too, and we should consider that.
Yeah.
That's just my personal.
No, I hear you.
opinion, and
I hear you.
I'm not on this committee.
But-
I would love to give it to him.
Yep. No, I don't, I get your sincerity, and I don't doubt it.
Putnam Arts Council right now.
Well, I do agree it was quite the arduous burden that they ran the gauntlet, the Putnam Arts Council did. I'd hate to repeat that process merely for form's sake. What we can do is we can, I'm not inclined to table it, but again, I'm only 1 out of 3 here. I'm not inclined to table it, but if we do not table it, of course, it'll go to the full legislative committee, full legislature in September. And since this was brought up by Legislator Montgomery, and unfortunately, this meeting was moved tonight, to tonight. It was originally scheduled for last week, and Legislator Montgomery was able to be here last week. And this was a pre-existing commitment she had, so I'd like her to weigh in from an official standpoint. If that be at the full meeting, we can discuss it then, and we can certainly table it at that point too, but I'd rather give her the benefit to speak
I
about it.
respect Legislator Montgomery. I knew she wasn't going to be here
Yep.
tonight, and I knew, listen, I support all the non-for-profits. I think they work really hard, but I'm just worried about the process.
Yep.
And again, we have held strong on that process, so I have no problem moving it to the full, as long as those documents get to us in time. Let's, I think, setting a standard of a certain amount of time to make sure Michelle has them.
Yep.
And we're able to vet them the same way the other organizations were vetted.
Yep.
And if that can be done, I would be in agreement. If not, I feel like we were doing a disservice to all the other people who have money sitting aside that haven't been awarded and have produced those documents.
No, fair points. Those are all fair points, and I think by at least getting it out of committee tonight, that'll give them the opportunity to do that. And if we are at a point at the September 2nd meeting, when is it?
September 2nd. Oh, sorry.
Second? If we're at that point, we can make that decision to table at that point. Yeah, are you all set? You good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, Greg?
Thank you.
Okay, this budget transfer was dated July 29th. And there's been a turnover at the Commissioner of Finance and I was looking, I do not see the Commissioner of Finance in the room, so for all we know, we may have the documents already. So I would encourage that we make this transfer contingent upon receipt of the documents.
Through the chair?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Your name again, I apologize.
Sean.
Sean said you weren't sure, or you did not submit the documents?
I personally did not submit them. Our executive director may have, but I do not know.
Okay, so I have a proposal.
But I will certainly prepare anything from us you'd like to see.
Can we check with Michelle? Has Michelle seen anything? Or
I haven't received anything this year. I'd have to look to see if I have seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So through the chair, could I suggest that I personally would like to see them, and again, I'm holding
Yep.
consistent with what we've done.
Yep, no, I don't disagree.
And so I'd like to see them again sent, whether it come from the Commissioner of Finance or from the agency. I have no problem, again, I'm not on the
Yeah.
committee, but I do think that continuity is important,
Yep.
and process is important, and transparency is important. We've held true to those things.
Sure. Let's see where we are on the 2nd. And thankfully, there's not a Labor Day holiday in between now and then. I'm being facetious. Yeah, there is, there's,
Request that those documents are provided to us as backup.
Sure.
To our auditor as well.
sure.
before
And then
that
that'll
meeting,
go into, we can request that.
With enough time to be able to look at it.
Well, that's,
That's fair. We should be out not reading it
we
at
we
the
either
meeting.
pre-file a resolution tonight or we don't. We can request things, and each of the 9 legislators can use whatever metrics they wish into their voting decision. I'd like to see them as well, and I do agree we should keep the process the same for everybody. But like I said, I don't see the utility in delaying it tonight. Again, if we don't get them by the second, we can discuss tabling it at the full. And again, I really want to give Nancy an opportunity to present it too.
I agree with you, and I agree, and I wasn't here last week, and I agree, and I think it's a great program, but I just, again, transparency,
Yep.
continuity, and the Putnam Arts Council waited a long time. We still have money sitting in subcontingency that hasn't been allocated.
Right.
I agree that it needs to be, because we're coming up on budget season, but there's a process.
There is.
And we have to respect that process and make sure we're doing right by all.
Well, I don't like manuals and rules, you know that. I'm being facetious.
I'm well aware.
Greg?
Yeah, there's no doubt we have to be fair to everybody. We also have to be fair to the taxpayers. And the county's been sitting on this for over a month. And if these items were needed, I think that the county should have reached out and told the Arts Council, oh, by the way, this is the documentation that's needed. So I'm very much in favor of moving forward with this, and if necessary, tabling it to full.
Okay. Any other legislator have any comments? Yes. Amy?
I'm just checking my documents from outside agencies, and it looks like it looks like we probably did receive, they requested $9,800
During last year's budget process?
during last year's budget
Okay.
process. And it looks like, since it was on this particular spreadsheet, it looks like we probably do have the documents. It was highlighted as not receiving funding and was not funded during the budget process. So that was one of them that wasn't funded during the budget process.
Right. All right, so maybe just a small update might be in order, but we'll get to we'll work with our auditor to make sure that, happens, and certainly if there's anything we need, could we work through you and maybe get...
Of course, yeah, I'll be
Okay.
there all day tomorrow.
Perfect, thank you so much. Is there any comment from anybody in the public on this matter? Seeing none, do you have anything else to add, sir?
No, I
Okay.
just thank you all for your time
Thank
and your
you.
consideration.
Thanks. Okay, on behalf of the committee, I'll move it. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All righty, we're now going to item number 6. Again, a subcontingency fund transfer for career support services. This is item number 6. Is there anyone here for that, for careers? I know we did have somebody here last meeting, and it was not in the form, by our choice, it was not in the form of a budgetary transfer amendment, so we did get
Madam Chairman, did you guys vote to move that forward?
we did.
You did, just
Yes,
making sure,
yep,
sorry.
we did. No, that's no
It's
problem.
been signed by the county executive.
Okay, and so this is on for approval then. Is there any discussion, as long as there's nobody here from careers, any discussion on the committee? Any discussion from the legislators? Yes?
Again, looking at the same spreadsheet, it looks like they were on the list.
Okay.
Their documents are on file.
Their documents are on file. They requested $30,000, they were granted $15,000, and they're just requesting the full $30,000.
Right, right, and they were here
That's where we are.
last week.
They came in and talked about it. I think there's,
Yeah, she was here last month, too,
yeah.
And just for the public's sake, this is another fund transfer for a contract agency, as Amy was saying, to go from $15,000 to $30,000. They requested $30,000 last year, they got $15,000, and we're going to decide whether or not we should fulfill their request. So having said that, any member of the public have a comment on this? Yes, come up, Brett. Yeah, what color is the pen today, Brett?
Always purple,
Okay.
as long as Diane's on top of things. From here, or am I sitting here?
Wherever you'd like to do it. I think the camera still picks you up if meaning the microphone still picks you up if it's,
Can everyone hear me okay?
yeah.
No, I just, with someone from careers not being here, just for the public's sake, for those who are not maybe well aware of what they do, but they provide, among other things, vocational training for adults with disabilities and special needs. And I'm glad to have the chance to speak to you before you vote on this, because these are the types of investments we should be making in our communities. Historically speaking, adult workforce development pays off in terms of return on investment 4 to 7x on what a county or a municipality would spend on it. Frankly, $30,000 is probably too low, and I hope this is something we look at going forward, especially with us sitting on a $90 million fund balance. So, anytime we can invest, not just in adult workforce development, but also in our adult individuals with special needs, that is a crisis in across the country right now. I am thrilled with the county executive's decision to move forward the Early Learning Center. As you guys know, I've been here month after month as a big advocate for that. This is the next step, the next investment that needs to be made in that community. When you talk to parents and you ask parents, I know some of you are parents in this community, the number one thing they talk about being afraid of is what happens when I'm not here, what happens when I die, who's going to love my child as much as I do. And part of investments like this can help ease those fears, okay? The other challenge that this community faces is that they are often, when they graduate from high school, when they age out of school services, they are forced to leave their home communities to go to residential programs or vocational settings because their home communities don't offer them. That's a challenge right here in Putnam County. So an investment like this, not only being a financially sound decision in terms of getting a return on that investment, those are the investments government should be making, okay, where we're going to get a nice return. Like I said, historically, that's a 4 to 7x return on an investment in adult workforce development, all right? But we're also going to help an underserved community stay home and be contributing members of their home communities. So I'd ask you to please keep that in mind as you make your vote tonight, but also keep that in mind as opportunities to fund things like this in the future come up. Thank you.
Thank you. Right.
I just want to add to what Mr. Yaris just said. In addition to training, they do a tremendous job of placing our special needs, our adult community who have disabilities. So this is something that is absolutely, I'm just going to say necessary, and I'm completely in favor of this, which is why I brought up the original fund transfer.
Thank you. Any other legislator or member of the public? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to move this. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Before we move on to item number 7, I was a bit remiss. We do have an additional from Legislator Montgomery talking about not only the Garrison Arts Center, but also the Second Chance Foods, which is coming up later in the agenda, as well as the Boscobel House and Gardens. It's a memo dated today with Legislator Montgomery advocating for these. I know we've received it in our mail earlier today. I'd like to make a motion to accept this piece of additional. Is there? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's, again, from Legislator Montgomery. It's in the record. Okay, item number 7. We're now looking at the approval for fund transfer for the Veteran Service Agency, the row of honor flags. I see Carl Rohde is here. Carl, would you mind joining us at the podium? Or at the desk, if you wouldn't mind? This is for $17,500, excuse me, $17,950. We're decreasing appropriations out of Loyalty Day and increasing appropriations to supplies and materials. And Carl, these are for flags.
New flags and flag poles for the Roll of Honor.
Yep.
The flag poles that we have are roughly inadequate. The Highway Department spends countless hours repairing them every year, painting them. They just aren't holding up. The flag that we've selected is a better quality flag than we had before. Oh, first, I forgot to say hi, everybody. So we made the proposal to the county executive. We want to, for a long time, the Roll of Honor has not paid for itself. It's been not even break even. So we're going to be coming up with a new program to run it. We need to handle the funding of it. But in the meantime, before we do that, we have to replace the flags that we have now. A lot of them are 5-6 years old, fading, discoloring. The flags that we're going to get are a much better quality flag. Poles are now going to be fiberglass, which will hold up and not have to be painted, repaired. We're pulling poles apart and putting poles together to make a decent pole. I know if you saw, there was a few poles that snapped this past time while they were working around the ground. And we found them in the morning, and we went to them. So that's essentially what it is, just moving money around to purchase new flags.
How long has this program been, I mean, it's been quite a few years, so the supplies are pretty old. How long has the program been going on the lake here, Carl?
It's about 12 years old, I believe.
Okay.
Past County Executive
Adele.
Odell started it, and it's been run by my office and the Putnam County Joint Veterans Council.
Thank you, by the way, for doing it. I know it's a volunteer effort, so thank you for that. Before we get to the legislators, any member of the committee have any questions or comments? Erin?
Hey, Carl.
Hi.
So number one, this is a wonderful program that we do. With the past administration, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't the flags used to be purchased and dedicated to an individual veteran by the veteran's family?
Correct.
And it was $200, and then it went up, I think. It was 100, okay. So $100, they would be purchased, and then they were stored, and then they were put back up, and then those flags, obviously, they're on the lake, wind, all those good things that come into play were tattered. They were laid to rest the right way.
Correct.
And then we purchased now, when did that process change from the veterans, families, friends, loved ones, into now
It didn't
this?
change.
Okay, so this is,
We're going to be making a proposal. We have some meetings with the county executive. We're going to limit the flags. We were well over 600 flags. We're going to limit it to 500 flags. The flag originally was purchased forever. You had the flag forever for $100, which we can't afford. So there's going to be a time limit on the flags. I don't know what the cost is going to be. We haven't gotten that far into the process. Like I said, we've been trying to limit it to 100 flags. We are going to keep it where we have it up twice a year rather than leaving it up the whole time, because that lost other flags. We lost more flags keeping up the whole, from Memorial Day to the week after Veterans Day. It was just too much damage to the flags. So hopefully with a better quality flag, we're not going to have as much tattering and shredding. I would say probably since we started this, every flag has been replaced. There are probably a few that are still left behind from the original.
None of them have 48 stars, though, right?
No, it's not that old, no.
All right.
And we retire them every year on Memorial Day properly when the ladies of the night for retiring them.
that doesn't mean what you all think.
Yeah, so we are coming up with new, but we haven't developed the whole thing. We're in the process. My deputy director is working on it. She is on vacation this week and unable to be here, or she will be here. Explain a little bit more exactly who we're purchasing them from. And we're already, not in contract, but we've already been approved who that we buy the flags from.
And just a second, through the chair, if you don't mind.
No.
Thank you. So instead of the 600 flags, now we're bringing it down to 500.
Right.
And how is that decided, what 100 flags that are dedicated to people?
All right, there were a lot of flags that were between the Joint Veterans Council and the past administration that we just put up. Nobody necessarily paid for them. They just were like the Joint Veterans Council would have a member that passed away. We put a flag up for.
Okay.
So we actually eliminated about 100 flags last year.
Okay.
Just by going through, and some of the flags had strange dedications that, although we had records of it, when we got in front of the older people, they didn't really understand what the dedication was supposed to be, so it's going to be corrected. One person thought that they had to buy a flag every year, so they didn't realize that they purchased 10 flags. They thought it was every year they had to purchase a new flag. They had 10 flags for one person. So we'll talk to them, what we can do about that. So there were things that were done, again, small department, a lot of work to do, and we're just trying to catch up with it now and straighten it out.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we weren't discrediting
No.
any veterans, because
No,
we know in
no,
this community, we love our veterans, we're very blessed, and this is a great program. And then also too, with this, thank you, Chairman.
Sure,
if you don't
okay,
mind.
that's fine, no, go ahead. Feel free.
Let's kind of bring you flex, okay?
Okay.
So with this being said, are we still continuing to have a mechanism though where we'll dedicate this and a family pays for it?
Yes.
And then we'll let them know when it's time for a renewal because the flag is tattered
We're
or?
looking at 3 years. The flag lit for 3 years, and if you want to renew, you don't want to renew, you don't renew. That's sort of the plan we have. We don't have a definite, that was one of the things that we set up.
So essentially, we're laying out the money at first, but we'll get it back
Correct,
on the back end of this.
correct.
Okay. I'd love to see the same thing with those wonderful banners that are out there that are faded, have them taken down, put back up, because it's not paying a tribute when they're,
That's right. And I just want to say one thing, because
Sure.
Legislator Crowley brought it up. And I want to tell you what she did. And
But you don't do this,
No,
please.
Yes, I'm going to.
no, it's your job, you don't.
But I'm going to anyway. I'm working with a wife of a veteran who took his own life. And there were some difficulties with her husband's family. And the minor children wanted their father's flag passed. The grandparents wouldn't let the children have it. So I asked Aaron to give me a couple of flags that flew over
Capital.
the Capitol. My son is going to make the boxes for them, traveling boxes for them. I don't want to give her name out.
No, sure, of course. Yeah.
I've been working with her for about 6 months now. Very sad situation, but it's something that we have to deal with. I thank you, and I think the public should know what you did. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You can be mad at me as you want.
I love flags, Carl. I dedicate a whole night to them, so just want to ask and make sure they're taken care of,
Yes.
never desecrated. We had one time where they were kind of left out in the cold.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure they're treated properly, the families are treated properly, they're investing.
Yes.
And if
Will
the
do.
county's investing, we're doing the
100%.
same. So I appreciate your work in your office.
Thank you.
Greg, you had?
I see, Carl, that over here is basically $44 for a flag, a pole, some ties, and that doesn't include shipping, so basically we're looking at $50 a flag. I know that I purchased a flag 12 years ago, original from my father, so it was one of the first, I believe, 10 flags, and I think that it's proper that people who have paid for flags would continue to pay something. So if a flag's going to last every 3 years or so, and you're showing it's $15 for a flag, $25 to $50 every so many years is more than fair.
And the other expense, if you will see, that we have to have those tags made up every year. That's-
Name tags.
Yeah.
That's,
Absolutely.
it's a special paper.
And DPW tells me how difficult it is once the flags are up to actually do the mowing, because it has to all be done by hand.
I get cursed out a lot.
Yes. If he was here, I'd let him know, but anyway, no, thank you for everything that you do.
Any other legislator on this topic? Any member, oh yes, Laura, go ahead.
I just want to say to Carl and your program, thank you very much for taking care of our veterans. I know you put your heart and soul into it,
They will love it.
so thank you.
Any member of the public have any comments on this? No? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve this budgetary transfer. Do I have a second?
Second.
Fund transfer, excuse me. All in favor? Aye. And Carl, of course, it goes without saying, thank you for everything you do for the veterans of Putnam County. Thank you.
Is there- Is there another committee that
If you're, if you want to torture yourself, sure, stick around.
oh, no,
Oh, well, it'll go to audit. It'll go to audit at the end of this evening, but I'll defer to the chair. I don't think there'll be any.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it
And
just,
any testimony will be in these minutes,
Yeah.
and I'll make that notation when we go.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Carl.
On behalf
Thank
of the
you.
veterans of the county, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you, Carl. Did we vote on that? All in favor? Yep. We did, okay, good. Item number 8, this is a budgetary transfer for a county contribution out of subcontingency in the amount of $10,000 for Boscobel House and Gardens. Is there anybody here from Boscobel that might want to, come on up, please join us. And if you wouldn't mind, we know your organization, but if you just wouldn't mind stating your name and give us a little preview of this item. And again, this is just for the public's sake. This is, again, money coming out of subcontingency for contract agencies. And again, these agencies, the whole purpose is to perform a county function. And I'm sure this is going to fit well into whatever you are going to tell us. So please, I'll defer to you and give us a little briefing on this. And again, this was brought to us by Legislator Montgomery. So thank you.
Hi. My name is Abigail Adams, and this is my colleague Amber Stickle. And we,
It's really our name, I promise.
That is really my name, I promise.
You're the wife and a mother of a president, weren't you? Yes, okay.
And we are here from Boscobel. We are putting in, I think, our 3rd annual request to help support and bolster our funding around our Patriots and Loyalists program, which is a school program that we've been doing for about 15 years now. It reaches over 80 schools in Putnam and far beyond, but we're definitely missing some outreach there to be able to grow that program, not only reaching additional schools, but reaching higher grade levels. Right now, the program is very much focused in the elementary level, and with this additional funding, we'd have the opportunity to grow into middle school and high school and bolster the program as we look towards America's 250th next year, which will be a huge focus for us, not on the education front, but on our general programming as well, and everything we're going to be doing next year.
How many, roughly, how many visitors a year do you get at Boscobel?
We're at about 70,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
We're one of the largest, if not the largest in Putnam
And
County.
we are, I know the Southeast Museum does some school programming, but we really are the only museum in the area that has a dedicated education team
And
and
this
programs.
is coming at a great time for us, not only to partner onto the Rev 250. We were so honored to be invited to join the history tent at the county fair, which was a great experience for us. But we're just getting ready to launch back open after our emergency response from our ceiling collapse, and really kind of kick into full gear now with our education programming. So this is coming at a really great time for us to kind of redefine this program and be able to kind of bring some new life to it, so.
Great, great. Any member of the committee have a comment or a question on this? No? Okay, first we'll go to Amy, then Aaron. Do you have something? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Bill, Bill,
Yeah, it's a wonderful place. I haven't been there recently, but I was there several years ago, and I love it. You do a great job.
We definitely invite you to come back and visit us. Our house has gone through a little bit of a transformation, and it's been really exciting, so we're excited to share it with everybody, so.
Great. Amy, then Aaron.
So you said this is going to go towards education and into the schools, you said middle schools. So what schools in Putnam County are you currently part of, or do you do programming?
We currently do, up until prior to our collapse, we almost saw every district from Putnam County.
Wow. That's impressive. So this will help you to move into middle schools?
Yeah, I mean, our Patriots and Loyals program really is it was built off the state 4th grade curriculum, which is based on New York State history. So it really was built to meet those kind of line items, but the goal is to expand it so that we can really do a K through 8 and even high school program, so.
And also conduct outreach so we can subsidize for schools that aren't able to support the program themselves, and create resources for teachers to bring home, as well as resources for students to bring home to their families about the revolution.
So like social studies in the middle school, that'd be amazing. Yeah. And is your, have you finished your repairs?
That's a question. Yes and no. We are able to reopen to the public, but we're calling them preservation in progress tours. So the building itself is fully safe and all of the new and upgraded safety requirements. But the period furniture, wallpapers, the fun stuff is not back in place. But when you tour it, you're going to be able to see a restoration in progress, which is also separate from the Rev 250 programming, is exciting for kids and everyone.
It's educational in and of itself, I would
What's
imagine.
super unique is that literally every time you come, it's going to be different. So it really is going to be an exciting process for people to watch to unfold, so.
And can I just do one more note?
Of course.
From my spreadsheet. My spreadsheet notes. Again, it was listed in our budget season for outside agencies. We did receive the paperwork, from my understanding, from everyone from that spreadsheet did. And and you did submit an application. So, yeah, I would be all for it.
We submitted in 2024 and 2025.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Erin?
Well, Amy asked half my question.
Okay.
75% of my question.
All right.
Yeah, I just have a comment, I think, with all the, in all darkness somehow the sun comes out, right? So you're restoring it, and it's very educational and also really cool to see the progress of what it takes and how much work went into how they used to build things, and, the labor of love, and also, people can see that and learn from it. So as much as it may not be exactly what you wanted, right, there's always a little bit of sunshine to it.
Yeah. Honestly, it's been if you don't mind me just
No,
adding,
please, go right ahead.
It's been a great experience for Boscobel, because it also has allowed us to kind of redefine how we're sharing messaging and how we're sharing not only the history, but also, the architecture and the furniture and everything else that we can bring to the table. It's giving us new and unique ways to kind of give those messages, and that's why I think this is a great opportunity too, because it kind of is allowing us to revamp what we're doing, to kind of catch up with technology and be able to offer the service to, as Abby said, to districts who might not be able to afford a field trip to our site, to us to be able to push more into the classrooms. So
Thank you for all your work.
thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Sure, of course. Any other legislator? Any member of the public have a comment on this? Okay, I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, folks, and good luck with the ongoing restoration and next year's Rev 250.
And if I may, I
Yes.
see the Commissioner of Finance snuck in. I just got a quick question for him.
Could we do it under other
Sure.
business? Thanks. The next item of business is item number 9. This is a budgetary transfer, county contribution from the subcontingency, again, along the same lines. This is for Second Chance Foods. Is there anyone here from Second Chance Foods? Come on up. And again, I think this was brought to us by Legislator Montgomery.
Good evening. I'm Martha Elder. I'm the Executive Director and Co-Founder of Second Chance Foods. Thank you so much for allowing us to present this evening. We have a huge presence in Putnam County. We have 17 different distribution points in Putnam County alone. Through May, we'd already distributed for free over 100,000 pounds of groceries to our neighbors here in Putnam County, and almost 80,000 meals through July. We have a really large impact here. We are at 2 motels servicing homeless families that are put up. Adult Protective Services is at our facility every week, picking up boxes of meals and groceries. We help out Brewster Cares during their season. We have 7 freezers throughout the county. These are accessible to anybody who needs food. 3 of them are at libraries, 3 at senior centers, 1 at a food pantry in Kent. We also service 6 food pantries, the soup kitchen, and you probably are hearing about the increased need in terms of food insecurity. You may have heard that in July, the base price of vegetables went up by 40%. So there's just incredible food inflation going on, and so we're needed more than ever. And at the same time, the federal government took away $70,000 of our pre-promised funding, and so there's a lot of pressure on us to really just meet our community's needs and to find ways to make up that lost funding.
Great. Well, first of all, thank you for what you do for the people of Putnam County. Again, we reach out to contract agencies to help perform a county function. This certainly fits well within that nutritional, social services type of programs. I understand in the last year or so, you recently moved into new headquarters in the Village of Brewster.
We did.
And that's a welcome addition to the village, as part of the district I represent. And also, I just want to state, I went to you had a fundraiser at the Putnam Golf Club earlier this year, was it, or was it late last year?
September, yeah.
September last year.
Time flies.
And we ate the food that you serve, and I've got to tell you, it was very delicious. It was obviously nutritious, and it was a good way to make not only everyone there aware of what you do, but hopefully it was a good fundraising event too, because I know especially everything that's going on with the federal government and things. I'm sure every nickel counts, and certainly that's, I think this resolution is an effort to help fill that gap. So I'll turn it over to see if any of my colleagues on the committee have any questions or comments. Bill?
You do a great job. I specifically remember a few cases during the pandemic where you guys really went over and above, and I want to thank you for that. During that time, a lot of people were hurting, and you guys really stepped up, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Any members of the legislature? Aaron, then Amy?
Talking so much
That's
now,
all right.
I'm sorry. I appreciate you guys. I'd spoken to Ruby from Cornell Cooperative. She had let us know about a $2 million grant that was expiring in August. The seniors were really upset because that was $70,000 in transportation. $1.3 million was spent, I believe, on buying the food from local farmers and prepping it and, getting it delivered. And I then reached out to the state to find out if it was going to be made whole, because there was a little confusion on what being made whole meant. And unfortunately, it's not. So I think, $2 million to ask for $10,000 with this program that is supporting our seniors, our farmers, all these different programs, and giving back, kind of crossing hairs, is amazing. And hopefully we can get some of that funding back at some point so we can continue this great work and that nobody goes hungry, because it's really important that our seniors have that food, and they love that food truck. They loved it. I had never seen anything like it, so that was wonderful. And I appreciate all the enthusiasm and creativity that went into the whole project. So I will be in full support of this, and I hope to see more funding come your way.
Amy, you had a point?
Well, again, thank you for what you do. I think during the pandemic, there was a lot of food insecurity, and I know you've been doing this since then, of course, but it was surprising to me how many people that you see in everyday walks of life would have to come through to the food pantries. People you don't think. So the United Way has a population called ALICE population. So the ALICE population in Putnam County, although we are a very wealthy county, I think number 2 or in the top 5 anyway in the state of New York, we have a very high ALICE population, which is people who don't really qualify for food stamps or any type of welfare type programs, but they're not making enough to support their families. And I know that's where you fill in the gap quite a bit. These are secret people, pretty quiet, probably very proud people who don't go, and those are the people that you're serving with children and also our social services. Can you walk us through, like when someone is at a motel? Because I know that's also a population. Putnam County puts up people in hotels, especially during a crisis time or during cold periods, and they can't cook, they can't bring food with them. How does Second Chance Foods kick in for that?
Yeah, so at this point, it's basically the hotel or motel managers who are telling us about families or individuals who are in need there, and then we just add them to our list automatically. Like if you're homeless, you automatically get added to our list. So every week we're cooking meals. We know that they are, in a motel room with a microwave to cook with, basically. So we're making sure you're not putting a whole chicken in that box. You're making sure it's things they can manage in a microwave.
So in addition to what we would expect, the cooking and the food prep, just the administrative burden as well, that you have to keep track of all these people, to have an intake process, to have know where you're going. I mean, in addition to the food prep, there's probably the same or if not more work to do with that as well.
It's very complex.
Yeah.
That's why I invite you to come, because it's
Okay.
like when you see the place and everything that's going on, everybody, their jaws drop.
You're right at the old,
How much is going
the old
on?
Ledley building.
The old Ledley
Yep.
building, yep.
I know where you are. Okay, yep. Thank you. Bill?
This is being videoed, so why don't you tell the audience outside of this room the best way to reach out to you, whether they want to donate or if they have a problem and they need food.
Yeah, so secondchancefoods.org is our website. You can donate on there. You can sign up to volunteer on there. Follow us on social media. Yeah, we definitely need the support of our community.
Great.
Thank you.
Laura?
So I want to thank you. We've met before. Over the years, I've donated and I have volunteered, and it is a lot of work, and I give you guys a lot of credit. Just organizing, going to pick up leftover food or items from stores, and the whole entire process to get it into your facility, ready for the cooks to come in and start cooking, and to think of recipes to use the items that you get. It's really amazing. So I thank you, and I know you did invite us to come for a visit, but since I've been there, I can appreciate the hard work of the entire team.
And the over 400 people who volunteer with us every year.
That alone is enough to.
Any other legislator have any comments or questions? Any member of the public have any comments or questions? Carl, come on up. And you were with who?
Forgot we helped the veterans home.
She works hard all day. She comes over, visits at the veterans home, and with the guys helping out, cooks a meal for the veterans and serves it. They really appreciate it. Sometimes there's a little mix-up. I think I burnt something one time.
No.
But I want to say another thing, because I volunteered for quite a long time delivering food, but I want to say one thing that has nothing to do with food, but that you see. One of the things Martha picks up from the stores are flowers, bouquets of flowers that are getting ready to be thrown in the dumpster. And when I'm over here at the church over here, the Methodist church and Baptist church, and they're coming to pick up their food, and you hand these people, if there's a mother, say you hand them a bouquet of flowers along with the food. You see the look on their face, because there's something, they know they can't afford food, but there's things like that they really can't afford, they don't have, and you give them that. And I thank you for allowing me to be part of it.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you. Any other member of the public? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to pre-file this to the full board. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. Our next item is item number 10. It's an FYI. It's our litigation report. It's a confidential matter, so unfortunately, we won't be able to open this up to the public. But I would ask any of my colleagues on this committee or the legislature if they have any questions. We do have members of the law department here. If we do have any questions about any particular litigation, we should go into executive session. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none? Okay, it's an FYI. I remind my colleagues to dispose of it properly after the meeting. Any other business from a legislator on any matter? Seeing none, before we adjourn, under item number 12, I see we have a member of our sheriff's department here. We all know we lost a hero in Putnam County last week on Friday, our sheriff, Kevin McConville. And what I'd like to do before we adjourn is just have a brief moment of silence in his memory. And with that, I'd ask us all just to have the moment of silence. Thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, folks.
This is also for audit. What did you get? What do you have? You have additional for audit?
Well, the
Good evening and welcome to the Audit and Administration Committee meeting this evening on August 25th, 2025. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Legislator Crowley, will you lead us, please?
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Legislator Birmingham.
Here.
Legislator Crowley. Present. Chairwoman Sage.
Present. Okay. Agenda item number 3 is acceptance of minutes for May 22nd, 2025. Agenda item number 4 is correspondence from the county auditor. Oops. Put that in front of me. First is our sales tax report. Our sales tax was down last month, and it's again from the budgeted amount. Last year, at this time, in July, our sales tax was $7,635,488. This year, in 2025, our July numbers are down to $6,068,354. That's over 1.5 million below last year's sales tax. They seem to be trending down, but hopefully we'll have some pickup later on in the year.
Could I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I see our Commissioner of Finance, Bill, is there any more payments coming in for July, or we got them all?
Oh, no, those are the payments for July, but remember, July is just an estimate. You really have to go by the quarterly final reconciled number.
Okay.
Which is also the number we'll use when it comes time to distribute funds to towns and villages, because all they do now is an estimate and they fluctuate wildly. But through the 6 months, you were okay in terms of the budget, meeting it. You were up about 6%, I think, so.
Okay.
So you're still doing good for the year.
If I could continue, is every month an estimated month?
Yes, except the last payment of the quarter. They call that the reconciled distribution.
Okay.
The way the state does it is they take estimates based sometimes on prior year, whatever methodology they develop, but it's the last one of the quarter. That's the reconciled.
Great, thank you.
Anyone else on the committee have any questions or comments? Any other legislators? Anyone from the public? Okay. That's an FYI. The next is our board and revenue, which has been trending pretty well. Our board and revenue is for our jail. We house prisoners from other agencies, and they pay Putnam County rent to house them in our facility. And I think we changed our rent last year sometime, so we're trending pretty well on that. Any questions or comments on that from anyone on the committee? Any of the legislators? Anyone from the public? That's an FYI as well. We have our July transfer revenue report. That's an FYI. You can review that. And we also have our contingency, subcontingency report. That's an FYI. Please review it. Moving on to agenda item 5A. This is correspondence from the Commissioner of Finance. 5A is our overtime and temporary report. Anyone have any questions or comments regarding the overtime or temporary report? Anyone from the legislature? Anyone from the public? All right, that's also an FYI. Agenda item 5B is an approval for budgetary amendment for the sheriff's Department for the co-response team. This is a DOJ grant award for vehicle leasing. This was also reviewed in our Protective Services Committee. This is in the amount of $14,070. We have an increase in our appropriations of $14,700. That will be going into our co-response team. Any questions or comments?
I have a question. This grant is due to expire when? That funds the CRT team.
I think it sometime next year, but I'm not sure exactly when. I'll have to look it up.
So with that being said, if it expires next year, because it's fully funded by a grant right now, and we're buying a car on that grant too, have we?
Oh, leasing one.
Leasing a car. Have we looked into what we're going to do in the future with this team now that it will not have full?
Yeah, I'd have to ask the sheriff's department that.
Okay, because that's concerning to me. I mean, Captain Shepley's back there. I'd love to hear from him.
It is absolutely funded through next year, and my understanding is it is going it again the next year. I know as part of the current budget, social services asking for new things. This is just the vehicle that we obtained last year.
So
But it is fully funded. So it's been a 1 year worth of funding. I know there's at least 2 more, so we're in year 2, next year is 3.
Okay, I just think it's a very important part of our community. It's something that we need to keep, so I just want to make sure that we're funded, we're good, and we have the appropriate things that we need for that to continue working, because it's, with mental health, it's one of the things that has been very important to our community when we don't have certain things for adolescents and different other groups. So thank you very much, and just wanted to ask that question.
Any other questions from any other legislator? Anyone from the public? Okay, I will make a motion to approve agenda item 5B. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on to agenda item 5C. This is for an approval for a budgetary amendment for 25A065 for the Sheriff's Department to utilize reimbursement for BCI overtime. This is, I think this was also reviewed in Protective Services. This is in the amount of $3,855.36. This is going to be covering overtime in the BCI.
So that is reimbursement of an investigator that did special DW training down in New Jersey on drugs, how
Right.
you would detect drugs in the system.
Right.
He's one of the national, so that's funded by the Governor's Traffic Safety Council.
Right. Any questions or comments from the committee? Legislator Crowley.
How many drug recognition experts do we have at the Sheriff's Department?
Oh, he's the only one.
So do we use, and that's, I knew the answer, so I'm leading. Do we use him with other departments too? Does he get called out to assist and we get reimbursed on that?
Anytime anybody gets called out, us, Carmel, Kent, it's a reimbursement. We do have one deputy that's just about to be certified, so we'll have 2.
Good, perfect, thank you so much.
Any questions from any of the legislators? Anyone from the public? Okay, so I will make a motion to pass this funding, the approval for agenda item 5C. Do I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda item 5D is an approval for a budgetary amendment for 25A067 for the DPW for an ADA compliant ramp at the county office building. This was also reviewed in physical services. This is in the amount of $50,000. This is required to adjust the capital budget to fund an ADA compliant ramp project in the county building. It's funded by a state CREST grant.
It's a good thing that we have this. It's a great thing that we did out front. and it's nice, even better that we got somebody else to pay for it.
Absolutely. Previously, before we had the ADA compliant ramp, we had to go to the back of the building, take an elevator in, so now they can actually come in the front to the ramp. So, and thanks to the grant, it was paid for. Any questions or comments from the committee? Anyone, any other legislators? Anyone from the public? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve this agenda item. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, agenda 5E is an approval for budgetary amendment 25A-068, also for the Sheriff's Department. This is create 2 special resource officer positions for the Carmel Central School District. Captain Shepherdly, did you want to discuss this item?
Before we do that, if I could, Captain, I apologize. This is, I'm going to be abstaining on this vote. The Carmel School District is one of the school districts my firm represents, so I won't be partaking in this discussion or vote. Sorry, Captain.
So the Board of Education and Superintendent approached the sheriff asking whether we would be able to or consider providing 2 additional SROs, one to the high school and one to the middle school. After discussions, it was agreed we would be able to, providing that they funded those 2 positions at 100%. There were discussions, the board has accepted that, it was part of their budget that passed in the spring, and so they have agreed. It's been through legal. We are prepared to provide these 2 additional SROs to the school.
Okay, so it's personnel provided by the Putnam County Sheriff's Department, fully funded by the Carmel School District?
No.
Yeah,
No,
No,
okay,
it's
so,
50%, isn't it?
When is 100% not 100%?
50, it's 50 and
No, it's 100, but the problem is, when I look, the methodology, the method of how you do it changed. Operationally, I understand what they did. It used to be the actual costs of the salaries and benefits of an officer. And then it changed to a flat rate of like $90 an hour, and I think it depends on the days they work for the schools.
It's $90 an hour every day unless it's overtime.
Right. But the schools, but somewhere along the line, and I'm not sure why, all they pay for is that. The administrative and the supervisory charges were dropped.
Football games, all the other
No,
stuff.
no, I'm talking about,
And
there used to be a cost to offset the cost of cars, supervision, equipment. That's all gone now. That's all now on the county. And I figure you guys know that.
so what is the county responsible
If
for?
you don't know that, the county's responsible for everything,
For everything?
except that $90 that you get for the hour.
For the personnel?
And 45 for those schools that are 50% funded.
So in the schools, for example, I know, and this is not a part of the Mayapack School District tonight, but I know in front of the school, the high school in Mayapack, they have a sheriff's vehicle parked in front all day long. Is that something that
The county's,
goes along with this?
that's 50.
And that's something that the county's paying
the
for and
county's
not,
paying for it all now.
so the county's paying for all of that now? So we have a car sitting at a high school that's out of operation?
That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how it happened, but it was.
I'm looking forward. I think what you have to do, and now's the time to do it, I think it's time to talk to the sheriff's department in a few weeks or so, and come up with a comprehensive program and guidelines for you to vote on concerning the SRO's charges and who's paying for what.
Especially if they want additional personnel there.
Because the decision on who works in the schools, that's operational, that's the sheriff 100%. The decision on who pays for what, that's not the sheriff, that's not the legislature. I mean, the county executive, it is the legislature. It's your decision to decide who pays for what.
Right. Legislator Crowley.
So do we have a mutual aid contract or any contract, like a contract that's currently going on right now with the school districts that we can look at to see where it outlines exactly what's being paid for and what we need to have maybe Kristen Van Tassel break down for us as far as costs that's coming out of your budget lines?
Anna Diaz does the work.
Anna Diaz, okay.
She does the contract. Each district signs a contract, and they're a little different, as our commissioner just mentioned. Many of the schools, they got SROs many years ago. We pay half, and they pay half.
Right, it was 50
Then it
and
changed, when Brewster got more, one went to like 83% and then 100, and these are 100. And somewhere, and we do take, so each one gets a vehicle to drive to school.
Yep.
That's how they get there, that's how we send them there. We don't use it on patrol or anything, but it's how they would come back, and if we call them back to our office.
Right, I think my question is that I'd like to see, and through the chair, if you don't mind, I would like to see an audit of what exactly is in, number one, the contract. So if the contracts don't mimic each other, I'd like to see a contract with every school district that we have, so we know what we're paying for and what we're responsible for. That's appropriate. Number two, to see from Kristen, or, because Anna does the contracts and Kristen Van Tassel is your financial, right? So I would like to see that and have a breakdown line by line of what exactly we're paying for. I know are the cars running all day at the schools?
No.
They're not. Okay. Okay, so, and they're leased or they paid for?
So all of the SRO cars are vintage cars. When we've kind of beaten them up in patrol, we move them over so we can extend their life. They're not a car we would use on patrol purposes. It's more a transportation vehicle, but it is a marked unit with lights and siren.
Right, I understand the concept of that. I didn't know if that was still a thing, because I know the cars were trying to be phased out as far as, we were getting into leasing instead of owning and buying. I know a lot of them don't have computers. So I would personally request from you, from the sheriff's office, to have a line-by-line item, and all of the contracts that we have with schools, because rightfully so, one school shouldn't have it better than another. That doesn't look right, and I don't know if my colleagues agree with me. And also know exactly what we're paying out, because if we don't have it line by line, your office's books aren't right, and our office's books aren't right, and that's not fiscally responsible.
I will tell you that the contracts that I have seen in the past, I have not seen this year's. Hannah has not sent them to us yet. It's pretty clear what's paying.
Yeah.
And what's received, what they pay, what we have not really broken out our vehicles, for example. It's just not been something that has been done. They need a vehicle to go there. We hang on to some enough. It'll be 12. We have 12 older vehicles.
Right. We pay for training every year, though. That's for how many officers or deputies to go to different places, which is very important. That's factored in there. That's not covered by the schools, correct?
Madam Chair, this should be protected.
It's already went through protective.
How about the questions?
So I don't get the right to ask the questions? I'm just asking questions that's in audit that have to do with finances.
Continue.
Thank you, Chairwoman. So I would like to see those things and just see, because I don't think anybody here has ever seen the contracts before. Has anyone ever seen the contracts? To show what we pay and what we don't pay and what they get and what they don't get?
We have looked at, when we started the SRO program, I don't think I've seen updated since. I mean, like, for example, it's not attached here. I don't see a contract here.
And what is the difference between the SPO and SRO prices too? I think that's important to build into this, the SPO and SRO prices. There's two different.
Well, the SPOs are, they're not benefits, that's just the, I believe, cost per hour.
Right, so that's another thing to take into consideration too. I know they drive their own vehicles and stuff like that, but I've never seen it financially, so
Right.
I would like to see it, and you're talking about the breakdown, it isn't 100% funded by the sheriff's office, so as our.
Well, yeah, because of the the other charges. I just
Yeah,
want to make
so-
sure everybody is aware of that.
So I think it's important that we all see that. I'd like to see that, please, if you could do that.
Legislator Elner.
Through the chair, Commissioner Carl, I just want to understand, because you're saying that now it's a flat rate of $90 per hour.
Yes, I believe that's what it was. I don't believe it's been raised since it was instituted.
Okay, but you're showing here a fully burdened.
Right, I'm showing that because it's 1 quarter left in the year, and the contract, if you decide to do this, would be that $90 an hour for this school year. You know, the boat has left the dock, so to speak, you know, it's going to be September 1st next week. So any changes you would contemplate to what's going on now would be for the 26-27 school year. And I also think there should be guidelines, like we should give the schools numbers February 1st because their budgets are due in May. We should, if we agree on whatever administrative charge you want to charge is, there should be an automatic escalator in there because costs of benefits, costs of cars, costs of everything go up every year.
So in essence.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right, in essence, we're making a transfer payment because whether it comes out of county taxes or school taxes,
Right.
it's still going to be coming
Right.
from taxes.
Right,
So
but you have to
that's still gonna
decide
pay for it.
who's to pay that. Maybe you want the county to pay for everything. Maybe you want the county to pay for nothing. I don't know. That's a legislative choice. And the reason everybody is treated, as you're talking about, consistently in the contracts, it just goes back to like the 50% people were the people who were part of the original COPS Fast grant when I first started like 100 years ago. And the feds, they funded 100%. They left. So the counties and schools agreed 50-50. And then through the years, it became, you know, everybody wanted, instead of going from 5 SROs, you're up to what, 11 now, something like that? The county legislators at that time said, you know, this was too big a burden for the county to take, and the schools were going to take 100%, except for that one in the middle, which was the first elementary SRO. I believe it was CE Star?
Yes.
Somewhere in Brewster.
Right.
So, and that's how the program has grown through the years. I feel like a historian here. But now it's gone to where it was an administrative charge. It was raised somewhere around $65,000 a year from the schools, and that was eliminated. So,
And they're just trying to put it on us.
Thank you.
So, just another question. So, currently Carmel has one SRO at each school, and they're asking for 2 additional, another one at the high school and another one at the middle school. Is that correct? Okay, so they have an officer at each of their schools, and they just want 2 at the high school and 2 at the middle school.
What you had originally asked was for 2 in each location, total 4. Right.
That's what I'm looking at.
It says necessary to create 2 SRO positions.
Yeah, so they want
Town.
2. Okay.
We were granted 1 and 1.
Well, my position has always been to support the safety and security of our schools and our children. But I think, you know, going forward, this is a program that we really need to evaluate. Any other questions or comments from any other legislators? Anyone from the public? Come on up.
Just for the sheriff's department, for context, there have been a lot of issues at George Fisher Middle School in particular. It's been a big issue among parents of middle school age students. That, I believe, this is in response to that? Is that something that's fair to say?
Absolutely. We had a lot of threat assessments and other issues going on in the school that was really unprecedented last year.
And just to make sure you understand, it's through the chair. Just because we don't want people being
Understood. And I actually have been relishing the moment to be able to say through the chair, so allow me to say through the chair, if I may. Yeah, I mean, I'm a parent of an elementary school child, goes to KPS, actually. Officer Tom, shout out to Officer Tom, the Kent Police Department, by the way, he's the man. But I just wanted to say, I get a lot of emails when there's an issue through the chair, at the middle school or at the high school. Whenever there's an issue, all the students get a notification that something bad is happening, and there's been an incredible amount of that, especially at George Fisher Middle School. That has been an ongoing issue. The assistant superintendent came and spoke at a Carmel Town Board meeting and said that getting safety and security at the middle school is a priority for the administration going into next year. I'm happy as a resident to know that that's happening. Agree 100% about the fiscal responsibility of it, but this feels like an investment in a real problem right now that perhaps could be scaled back as things get under control. But the middle school, George Fisher Middle School, is a problem. And anything we could do to protect and add safety to our students, you know, speaking selfishly as a parent here, is welcome. My daughter's going to enter the middle school next year. And so I want to just make sure, you know, that we make sure we have it safe and secure. Thank you.
Anyone else from the public? Representative Crowley, did you have?
I'm in complete support of it. I just want to see the financial breakdown. I think it's all fair to us to see it. And, you know, SPOs, SROs, whether it's security, I think it's all necessary. They form a great bond with the kids. My son's a high schooler. We all know what that's like for us high school moms. So it's really important to have them there to talk to, and it is an investment that is worth it. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm against it. I'm not. I just want to see the financials.
Anyone else? Okay, so I will, I'll make a motion to pass this resolution, agenda item 5E. Do I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor? Oh, well, let's do a roll call vote on this one.
Legislator Crowley? Sorry. Legislator Birmingham?
Legislature, I'm going to abstain for the reasons stated.
Legislator Crowley?
Yes.
Chairman Sage?
Yes. Okay, moving on to agenda item 5F. This is an approval for a budgetary amendment. This is to pass through legal funds for the Legal Aid Society. This is in the amount of $197,860. This is strictly pass-through funds from the
Yes.
state.
Yep, the contracts are finally finalized for Rail Herring 2, which was a big lawsuit from years ago concerning indigent defense, and they supplied the Legal Aid Society and counties funding to have counsel at first appearance, and that's also included in here. And these are just pass-through funds from the New York State Division of Indigent Legal Services.
Okay, I'm sure they need the money. They'll put it to good use. Any questions or comments from the committee? Anyone from the legislature? Anyone from the public? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve agenda item 5F. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda item 5G is an approval for a bond resolution authorizing the redemption of certain outstanding serial bonds. This was tabled from our August fall meeting. We had a transition back to our original commissioner, and I just wanted to have our commissioner interim, temporary, I don't know what it is, Mr. Bill Carlin weigh in on the bond resolution. So
No, I think it's a great idea. I don't know what I can add other than I was around when the original bonds were issued. But for many years, even predating this legislature and this administration, we've been keeping an eye on the call date. Once the safe harbor rules from the Internal Revenue Service came into effect. And you need to understand the reason they came into effect is because taxable bonds are great for everybody but the federal government and the IRS. And they really put the restrictions on then. They are not in favor of taxable, tax-exempt bonds because they lose the interest revenue. But this, once done, will allow you to take whatever measures you want with the golf course. I know John has explained it, John Tully. And this really will free up the legislature to make decisions about how the course is run, for how long, what you want to do, and I think this is a great idea. And the last thing I would mention is that there's a budgetary behind that. I did listen to the last meeting. It will be in the 2026 budget. It will be in the debt service fund. You will see a line there. It'll be very clear. So you will have the transparency, and some of the modifications Dan had recommended were reviewed by bond counsel and incorporated. So,
All good news.
well, good news.
Yeah. Any questions or comments from the committee?
Yeah, I'll just, I'm in favor of this. It's going to allow us to pay off some bonds with some of our fund balance, which I think is a good use of that. I will note for the record, I am going to vote on this and participate in the discussion, but just for the record, I was bond counsel when the original bonds were issued, and I don't, and I've spoken to others, I don't view it as a conflict with me voting on this, because it's just like paying debt service. We're just paying it earlier.
that's it.
So I just wanted to put that out there, but I think it's a great idea. It does free us up, as Bill was saying, from some of the restrictions of those provisions that Bill was talking about, and gives us more flexibility with respect to the projects financed. So I'm in favor of it.
Yeah. And I'm very much in favor of having it in our budget process, so it is transparent. Anyone else from the committee? Legislator Elner.
Chair. Commissioner Carlin, when we were in the
Commissioner Carlin, when we were in the capital projects meeting, I asked a question, approximately what is the current borrowing rate? And that is between 4% and 5%,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
And there were some capital projects which were listed that we are going to borrow. When some of these bonds are 2.75, 2.875, and 3%, well, if we're going to retire these and borrow at a higher interest rate, why should we?
Because you want to get out of these safe harbor provisions. That's the only reason we're calling these bonds. Calling bonds is very rare. You really don't want to do that, because then nobody will buy your future bond issues, because they
And
want
for
to...
the public, could you elaborate on what safe harbor
The
limitations are?
safe harbor is IRS presented a whole lot of restrictions called the safe harbor rules about how you could run the golf course and enterprises like that, where essentially all the risk is transferred from the operator to the owner, which in this case is the county. The county is responsible for, let's say it's a Friday night rain out, that's on the county. Instead of, you could make it so it could be on the operator if you had a true business proposal and a true business-like activity. And that's the main reason to call these bonds. It's not to save money on the interest.
Liability.
Right, yes, and liability you can transfer too. It's not to save money on the interest. Oh, you do save $400,000+ by paying these off early, but those ones we talked about in capital bonded, you may not even borrow for them. We'll see where we are. Yeah, and we'll see, they're years away, some of those. So you'll see when you get there.
Thank you.
Any other legislators? Anyone from the public? Okay. I will make a motion to bring this to the full. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're on to 5H, which is an approval to pay off the callable bonds. This is the dollar amount, in the amount of $4,725,000. This is moving money from the general fund and the use of fund balance into debt service and bond revenue. This is just the
accounting.
accounting for the resolution we just did.
Good, and thank you, Bill, for this, because this is the actual appropriation that we'll need in order to call the bonds. And I'm very, I spoke about this last week, I'm very happy to see this, because it's important we have an appropriation on the books prior to calling.
Correct.
And the way, if I read the previous resolution, we're looking to call these in January of 2026, which would mean we'd have to get the notice out by December 15th of 2025. and it's great that we're going to be getting an appropriation on the books, because, you know,
Exactly. And your budget will be locked in, and it'll be
Exactly.
public record.
yeah, doing it the other way, we could have, again, we're going to have 2 new members on the legislature, and we, you know, who knows what if this was not this year, and it was
Right.
part of the 26 budget, during the 26 budget, we could have a notice out there without an
Yes.
appropriation. We ran that pinhole risk, but
Yes, oh, yeah.
it takes care of that. So
And
that's-
throwing a resolution on the organizational meeting with itself brings a whole host.
We like to
of
argue
issues.
about the manual at the reorganization.
Do that again.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Anyone else from the committee? Legislator?
And I'll also create, our bond rating will go up, won't it?
Our bond rating is high. That would only be one of many factors that would
Credit
be
rating, easier
included in a
borrowing.
bond rating. You know, they look at your whole financial picture. There's a lot of things that go into a bond rating, but we have a very excellent bond rating now at AA, I think it's 1 still, right?
Yeah,
So,
maybe we can.
the only place to go really is AAA, and there's only one county in the state right now that's AAA. I think Rockland just got it.
The only place to go is up.
That's true. Like to go up.
Okay, any other legislators? Question or comments? Anyone from the public? Okay, I will make a motion to send this resolution to the full. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, agenda item number 6. This is an approval for a fund transfer for DPW for the golf course. This is to cover the insurance expense through the end of the year. This is for signature. This is in the amount of $11,571.96. Was there a rate increase? Is that, or was it?
It's based on the activity, and I know there was more activity there. I don't know if this was a specific rate increase or just moving the money from the contract to the insurance line. I can check into that and get back to you.
Looks like the total amount of insurance was in the amount of $47,650, and we need an additional $11,913 to make that up. Nope, that wasn't right.
I'm sure the costs are up, I just don't know how much.
I'd like us to be insured.
We do need to be insured. So, the previous transaction that we had, would we still continue to carry insurance on this property, or does it?
Oh, yes, yes.
The golf course.
Depending on what you do with the golf course, you're always going to own it. Or you're going to sell it to the New York City DEP for $1.
Right.
So you're always going to own it. So you will always have to have some insurance, regardless on what business arrangement you come up with.
Would it affect the insurance in any way, or does the operator need to?
No, it'd be the operator. It'd probably be pretty much the same thing. Maybe not the county being an additional co-insured or something like that, but there's going to have to be insurance, obviously.
Any questions or comments from the committee?
Wouldn't it come down if we didn't hold the liquor license anymore, though?
Well, somebody will own it, and we will still own the property, so I don't know how it affects us. That's probably more a question for Matt Bruno than myself.
Okay, thank you.
Any other legislators?
Matt Bruno being the risk
Our
manager.
He's our,
Yes.
yeah.
I'll call him in for his argument.
Anyone from the public? Okay, so I will make a motion to sign this. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, this is another for signature, agenda item number 7. This is an approval for a fund transfer for mental health DSS for furniture. This was also reviewed in health. This is in the amount of $2,197. They're going to move funds to purchase storage cabinets for forms and electronic arts in data, and also use them to replace 2 guest chairs for the Deputy Commissioner's office. Any questions or comments from the committee? Anyone from the legislature? Anyone from the public? All right, I'll make a motion for signature. Do I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Agenda item number 8. This is an approval for a fund transfer for subcontingency. This was just reviewed in rules. This is to move these funds from subcontingency to fund the Garrison Arts Center in the amount of $10,000. This will go to the full. We did have a full discussion. I don't know if anyone else wants to have questions or comments on this particular item again. Legislator Elner.
Through the chair. Commissioner Carlin, do you recall if the Garrison Arts Center has already submitted their 990s?
That I don't know. I was not at the budget process for last year, but if they did ask for money, then we would have the 990. I'll certainly check, and if not, you can certainly get it for them. I'm sure they'd be more than willing to provide it.
You can get online.
Anyone else?
You can get online.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, in fact, when I looked up the spreadsheet from last year's budget, they were on the spreadsheet that they had
Yeah.
submitted
Then
the
I'm sure we
documents.
have it somewhere.
Okay,
If that's the latest one, I'm not sure.
okay. Any other legislators have any questions or comments? Anyone from the public? Okay, I'll make a motion to move this to the full. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry, Dan. Okay, agenda item number 9 is along the same lines. We just reviewed this in rules. This is for an approval to move money from subcontingency for the county contribution for, this one is for careers in the amount of $15,000 from subcontingency outside agencies to support the careers program. Questions or comments from the committee? Any other legislators? Anyone from the public? All right, I'll make a motion to send this to the full. Do I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda item number 10. This is for an approval for a fund transfer for the Veteran Service Agency. This is for the roll of honor flags that we just reviewed in our rules. This is in the amount of $17,950 to come out of our contingency budget to supply flags for our row of honor. Any questions or comments from the committee? Anyone from the legislature? Anyone from the public? All right, I'll make a motion to approve agenda item number 10. Do I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda item number 11. This is an approval for a budgetary transfer from subcontingency to Boscobel House Gardens. This is in the amount of $10,000. This, again, was just discussed in our Rules Committee. From what I understand, they also have their not-for-profit 990s on file that the legislature has access to. Do we have any questions or comments from the committee? Anyone from the legislature? Anyone from the public? Okay, with that, I will make a motion to move this to the full. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda item number 12. This is a budgetary transfer for the county contribution from subcontingency to Second Chance Foods. This is for outside agencies, once again, just reviewed in our Rules Committee. I'd like to thank Second Chance Foods and all our local not-for-profits for all the hard work they do for our Putnam County. Any questions or comments from the committee? Anyone from the legislature? Anyone from the public? I will make a motion to move this to the full. Do I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
So we have, I would like to make a motion to add other business, agenda item 13A.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This is from our DPW department. This is to transfer money from the general fund to the capital fund in the amount of $139,315. Commissioner, do you have, this is to,
Yeah, I
the
guess
roof?
some things never do change.
And
The
garage.
engineer's estimate was low,
I didn't,
but,
Route 6.
always, yep, but, you know, the information there, we opened the bid, and this fund's the low bid. And unfortunately, we don't approve it. If you try to do it again, I bet you the bids come in higher.
So this is for the roof. What?
The roof, garage doors, they've done some work inside also, but this is This is to preserve the building. This has to be done, or the building has to be raised.
And this is the 6N garage. Which
Yes.
is one of our, other than this building and the courthouse, is probably our oldest county facility.
Right, and it's been spruced up and improved quite a bit, but this needs to be done.
I know they renovated the inside and made it look pretty.
Yes.
And painted the.
Right,
inside,
and this,
added
and this
sign.
fit, and this completes the roof and the big garage doors that are necessary.
I guess I erroneously assumed that the roof was also included in that project,
I thought that.
but I'm guessing,
I thought that too.
I'm guessing not.
You know, you saw the price for the roof, it's quite expensive.
Yeah, it's a pretty big facility.
But there were 5 or 6 bids, and this is the low bid, so it is what it is, as they say. Yeah,
Cost of supplies and
Right.
materials, I'm sure, is increasing.
roof.
Okay. Anyone from the committee have any additional questions or comments? Anyone from the legislature? Anyone from the public? Okay, so I will make a motion to approve agenda item 13A from other business in the amount of $139,315 to repair our roof. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, moving on to agenda item 14 is our adjournment. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
folks. I get to step down.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Special Physical Services Committee meeting. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Legislator Yonke,
Present.
Legislator Crowley,
Present.
and Chairman Elmer.
Here. Okay, we have one agenda item. It's the reconsideration for approval of stipulation to the inclusion of a parcel Reinmaker Farm. I believe we need to correct that to say Reinmaker East. In the Putnam County Agricultural District. And Senior County Attorney Heather Abissi is here. This was tabled at the last Physical Services meeting. No, I've seen it. I gave mine to Dan.
Just saying,
Yeah,
I didn't.
right. Do you need time to review it, or you? Heather, please start.
I believe that this matter should be discussed in executive session to the extent that you have additional questions. We did discuss it rather extensively at the last meeting.
Before we go into executive session, there's one thing that, for people who weren't here last time, which I brought up, I asked whether you were functioning as the legislative attorney or as the county law department attorney, and your response, please confirm, was both. Is that correct?
At that time, yes, because no other member of my office was present. Tonight, Mr. Cherico is present on behalf of my office.
Okay, so which one of you guys is the legislative attorney tonight?
That would be me.
Good evening.
Okay. And I just want to bring to your attention, I'm reading an excerpt of the minutes from the June 16th Physical Services Committee meeting, okay? Verbatim. Chairman Elmer questioned Senior Deputy County Attorney Pasquale about startups. Senior Deputy County Attorney Pasquale stated it is a subjective standard. He stated that the legislature can discuss and determine whether they believe the property meets the standard of what they would consider a legitimate startup. Chairman Elmer questioned whether any startup is eligible for inclusion into the district, regardless of how far along they are in terms of construction. Senior Deputy Attorney Pasquale stated that is correct, and it is up to the discretion of the legislature. Before we go into executive session, are there any comments, questions of the committee? Other legislators? Chairman?
Can I ask a question about the LLC? That has nothing to do with the lawsuit, just has to do with when was it formed? When was this LLC formed? This Reinmaker Farm East formed? Because we're talking about a startup, and we're just wanting to know when it was formed.
I would defer to counsel.
Well, the LLC was formed when the property was acquired, so it was a year and a half ago. Jamie Spillane, Hogan, Rusty on the Glory. The LLC was formed when the property was acquired, so a year and a half or 2 years ago. The principle is the same as the prior entity, Reinmaker LLC.
Right. But one person can have several different companies.
Yes.
I'm just
for
wanting to know where
liability
this particular one
purposes,
was.
that's
I mean, it looked
often
like online it said it was formed in May of 2024. So about a year and a half.
Yeah, that sounds
Something
accurate.
like that, May
We
of
didn't-
24. So a year and like 3 months.
That sounds accurate.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, at this time, I'd like to go into executive session at 7:31 PM.
Make a motion.
Make a motion to go into executive session. All those in favor? Aye. Agua.
Okay.
Good evening, it's 8:05 PM, and I'm making motion to come out of executive session. Is there a second? All those in favor? Aye. In executive session, no action was taken. Does anybody on the committee have any comments or questions that they would like to raise at this time? Does the legislature have any comments or questions at this time? Does the public have any comments or questions at this time?
I'm walking out. We're getting blasted by.
Sorry, I'm just freezing.
Don't take that personally.
Okay. Just want to make sure it was nothing I said.
Sorry. That's why I have a jacket.
My name is Christine Nastasi. I'm the chair of the Ag Board. There's not a lot I have to add to what I've said in the past. I do want to say that, again, the Ag Board, to my knowledge, was not notified about this meeting. And I do want to additionally say that during Sean from the Garrison Arts Center's discussion, legislatures repeatedly talked about fairness, transparency, continuity, and treat everyone the same. And I would hope that, although that was a not-for-profit arts thing, I hope that they treat everything that comes before them the same way. So I do want to reiterate, as I said the last time, some of you weren't here, that on Monday, July 2nd, at 7:30 PM, I got an email from Patricia McLaughlin, who is the Director of Real Property Taxes, I think that's her official title. And it says, Christine, can you tell me what my vote was on Lepler's application? Is he the one who had a very small setup that I felt should pass? I am being asked to attend a meeting that he is having with Kevin Byrne in the morning, along with Barbara. Just want to make sure I know which farm it is and how I voted. And I believe that at the least it's inappropriate for that meeting to take place. At the best, it's unethical. I know that there were several farms that had been denied previously that asked him for a meeting and they were denied. And again, I'd just like to reiterate that there are several different categories for horse agriculture. Commercial boarding operation, a commercial horse boarding operation in its first or second year of operation that consists of not less than 7 acres, X amount of dollars from crop, $10,000 for crops, and not less than 10 horses. And so this is 301 4H, and then it goes on to 4L, commercial equine operation. So horse boarding and equine operation are different. They can also be combined, and it basically says the same thing. In its first or second year of operation, not less than 7 acres, stabling at least 10 horses. And during our deliberations, the Ag Board tried to follow the recommendations of Ags and Markets, so that if the farm got in and then they had problem with the town, Ags and Markets would look at their farm and say, oh yes, you deserve our protection because you meet these criteria. So we had a lot of discussion about the criteria on all the farms, the criteria that needed to be established in order for that farm to be protected under Ags and Markets, because we felt that that is what our job was. And I also wanted to make note, I'm not sure if I said this last time, that the term startup is a term that New York State Ag and Markets uses when they're determining whether or not
The farm deserves their protection. It's not a term that we use in determining whether or not we believe that they should be included.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Legislator Sage.
I just wanted to, since Christina Stasi brought up the definition of startups and when protection begins, can I ask the law department to give their definition of startup? So, for example, the equine operation. So do you receive from 0 to 2 years? Can you be in the ag district from day one of incorporation to the first 2
Yes,
years?
you have 2 years.
Is that considered a startup period, or is it they've been in business for 2 years, and so this starts on 2
No.
years in one day?
You can be a proposal or up to 2 years of operation. And at any point within that 2 years, you can become compliant. For equine operations, you have 1 year to get the required number of horses if your specific type of equine operation requires a specific number of horses. Other than that, all of the other requirements, you have 2 years within which to become fully compliant. That's the definition of a startup. That's why it says in the statute, it's either proposed or up to 2 years in your first 2 years of operation.
So I think that's what the sticking is in this. I had thought it was 2 years and over, like for an equine operation. You have to be in business for 2 years and have your horses on the property.
Yes, that
But
was
you're
the
saying different.
misunderstanding. That was the misunderstanding, yes.
So you're saying different. So, and that's the reason that you're saying that that this is happening. Or
Yes.
this is, and your recommendation is to make that right.
Yes.
Yes.
Good evening, legislators. Crystal Stoll, Putnam Valley. I am here once again to express my concern about yet another special meeting on a matter that was tabled just 5 days ago. While many farms have waited for months to get on your agenda, it appears one individual has been giving exceptional access to public officials and priority in scheduling special meetings. Last week, you heard from numerous members of the farming community, myself included, cautioning against setting a dangerous precedent. Make no mistake, a yes vote tonight will be perceived as yielding to pressure. Let me be clear, I fully support the inclusion of startups in the ag district. I have spoken on their behalf multiple times. However, the integrity of our process is more important than any one individual. This year, you have consistently followed both the letter and intent of the law, voting in alignment with the recommendations provided by your expert advisory board for all farms. This demonstrated impartiality and fairness. To change your vote now under the threat of an unfounded lawsuit would sacrifice that consistency and compromise your integrity. Furthermore, it is highly likely that the Commissioner of Ag and Markets will not certify this farm, even if you vote for its inclusion tonight. If you believe the Commissioner is simply a rubber stamp, just ask Ms. Abissi what she had to say in the case against Ridge Ranch. In court, she stated multiple times that the Commissioner has the discretion to disqualify a farm from inclusion even after it has been sent up from Legislature, and thus it is the Commissioner, not Legislature, that is the final decision maker. If you proceed with an affirmative vote tonight and the Commissioner denies certification, you will not only have sacrificed your integrity, but you will have done so in vain. At this juncture, the right course of action is not to change the decision for a single farm, but to change the process itself. We must make it a priority to amend Resolution 139 immediately. And I'm not talking about the flawed, unconstitutional version that was circulated today, but a real substantive change that honors the law and supports our farmers of this county. With that, I would like to end with a legislative prayer. May you be willing to see the big picture in all things. May your efforts be blessed with clear insight, your deliberations with wisdom, your work with clarity and accuracy, and your decisions with impartiality. And may you be guided to act in accordance with your best and most ethical self. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Paul?
Yeah, I'm sorry, the last speaker, you're completely out of line. You talk about integrity and special meetings. This meeting tonight is a result of a lawsuit, and we're brought in to contemplate the settling of a lawsuit. This has nothing to do with special treatment. all right? I would much rather be in other places tonight, but we're here to settle something that needs to be settled, all right? So you talk about integrity and special treatment, you're out of line.
I wasn't planning on talking, but we all know why we're here.
I don't even know your name. I can't,
Can you state your name for the record?
I'm the We're all civil. Everyone, please be civil. Sir, your name, please state your name, where you live. Putnam Valley. Thank you. Please, Mr. We all know Duncan. why we're here. Not the lawsuit. It's who it is. I was told you were going to vote against me because you didn't like my personality. There's nothing, and I'm sure the attorney will state, about personality. Thank you. Anyone else?
Cassandra Roth, Patterson Pauling. I wasn't planning on, I was supposed to be in DC. I wasn't going to be here tonight. I wasn't planning on speaking tonight because I've said a lot. All of you have heard it, whether it's last meeting or the meeting before. I understand that there's a reason to be here for lawsuit and settlements and things like that. I appreciate that you're having that conversation in the open. I would like to remind everyone that another lawsuit, which was against an unconstitutional soil criteria, no settlement conversation this legislature ever happened. Before we even filed, the Ag Board was shut down due to, quote, pending litigation. We hadn't filed the litigation. After that litigation was filed, the communications director for this county, when I wrote a letter to the editor, wrote to the press, to the editor of the paper, saying, I, Ms. Roth, was suing the county. I was not suing the county. I was not an owner of Ridge Ranch at that time. I was not named a petitioner. That was an overreach. And so I think a lot of what you see is not even directed at this legislature, okay? It is the process. There should be continuity to the point of the grants. Continuity, transparency, consistency. If there is that, no one will be upset ever, right? Because it's an expected outcome, an expected process that is followed the same regardless. Tempers have gotten high. I wish this year was not the year this was happening because things were moving swimmingly, I thought. It looked like everybody had followed certain criteria, followed their guidance. I wish the guidance was clearer this year. I wish you guys were given that time to do that. But I understand there's settlement discussions have to be had. That is yours to decide. But other farms, and again, this is nothing on this applicant. This is nothing on this. This is just terrible timing. That was not offered. I was barred by the county executive from attending the farm roundtable. I was explicitly, municipal leaders were told I was not allowed to attend. I was not the petitioner. So understand the tempers come from there. So I hope, again, you are the legislature, you make the decision. And ultimately, I hope you guys take the weight that it deserves and do what you feel best. But that's all anybody can say at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'll make a motion to approve the approval of the stipulation of settlement for Reinmaker Farm.
Legislator Yonke, I suggest that you modify that to say Rainmaker East.
Reinmaker Farm East of.
Amended to include the parcel, the approval of a stipulation of settlement for Reinmaker Farm East.
I'm going to second it because I believe it should be voted on by the entire body as a whole.
There's a second. Roll call vote.
Legislator Crawley,
Yes.
Legislator Yonke,
Yes.
and Chairman Elner.
No.
Motion carries.
Being that there is no other business on the agenda, I make a motion to adjourn. So I was, all those in favor? Aye.
Do we have to move? Oh, no.
Today is August 25th, 2025. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Legislator Birmingham, would you please lead us?
In the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the legislative prayer.
Let us be willing to see the big picture in all things, act in accordance with our best, most ethical selves, and grant the benefit of doubt to all those we meet. Amen.
Roll call, please.
District 1, Legislator Montgomery. District 2, Legislator Gouldman.
Present.
District 3, Legislator Anizio. District 4, Legislator Russo.
Present.
District 5, Legislator Elner.
Here.
District 6, Legislator Yonke.
Present.
District 7, Legislator Birmingham.
Here.
District 9, Legislator Crowley.
Present.
District 8, Chairwoman Sage.
Present. Okay, agenda item number 4 is an approval for a seeker for the Ag District. This is the Department of Agriculture and Markets as lead agency for the Agricultural District Program has conducted a programmatic review of the environmental effects of ag districts and has concluded that there is a little likelihood of significant adverse environmental impact resulting from the formation or modification of such districts. We pass a seeker for our ag districts as a formality, I guess. We do this.
Are you making the motion?
Yes, I will make the motion to approve the seeker for agenda item number 4.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
Should we be doing this pending the outcome of the next agenda item?
Yes.
I would defer to the law department, but we have to, in order to take any action under the environmental conservation law, we have to, first of all, adopt a seeker resolution, and the next item would be considered an action, if I'm correct.
Correct. And this has to be done first in order to authorize us to vote on the next item.
And just for clarification, even if the next item may or may not pass, we still have to pass the
Yes.
seeker.
This does not commit us to voting.
So it doesn't commit us to anything. So,
To vote anything one way or the other on the next final item.
is there any further discussion on the seeker? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, moving on to agenda item number 5. This is an approval for the stipulation for the inclusion of parcel in Putnam County Ag District, Reinmaker Farm East LLC. I'll make a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second for discussion.
Discussion.
If I could start?
Please.
That's okay. I was not here at the July meeting when this was first voted upon. I have reviewed the tape. I have reviewed the application. I have reviewed the committee meeting minutes and tape of video of the action. And I've heard it said tonight that this year
things have been a bit truncated because of litigation. And I am not really going to speak specifically on the application itself, but I am going to speak about the specific matter in front of us tonight, which is the settlement of litigation. I've been working on and off with the county since 1988, and in that time, both starting out as a college intern in our pilot program, as deputy county executive for 4 years, and as a legislator for almost 10 now, I've seen our county law department both recommend that we settle litigation in some matters, and I've seen our county law department advocate that we go ahead with certain litigation matters. In each case, over all that time, I cannot recall one instance where we have, especially with respect to the settling of litigation, gone against the advice of our county attorney. So it's in that vein that I'm going to be supporting this resolution tonight. Our county law department is here to protect us. The county law department is here to protect the county taxpayers. Having said that, I do hear what the folks who spoke tonight during the committee meeting said. I do think that we do need to, myself included, get back caught up to speed, certainly with respect to the Ag District. I've been out for 12 years, so I want to learn more about it. But I'm prepared to vote for this tonight for that mere reason that our county law department is advising that we do that. I trust them. I trust them to protect the county, and I trust them to protect the county taxpayers. And I look forward to working with all members of this community going forward to see how we can make the process better from a legislative standpoint. And to the extent there's been any loss of trust in my vote tonight, I hope you'll take my vote as a sincere one. And to the extent that anybody feels that I might have violated any sort of trust that they had in me, I hope to restore that. But I don't see any way for me to vote other than the way my attorney tells me to. And I don't disagree with their assessment. So that's how I'm voting tonight, and I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Anyone else? Legislator Yonke.
Yeah, just following up on what Legislator Birmingham had to say. I voted for the inclusion back at the July meeting, but tonight we're here to approve a stipulation that's recommended by our lawyers. All right, so either we're following the lawyer's advice or we're not following the lawyer's advice, and I'm inclined to follow counsel's advice to settle the litigation. I don't think I've ever voted against settling litigation.
Any other legislators? Any further discussion?
Yes.
Legislator Elner.
A year or 2 years ago, when this situation occurred with the Ag Board, I was given advice by the law department, and I'm very sorry that I followed it, because if I didn't follow that advice, I don't think we would be here right now. And I think that a lot of this would have been completely eliminated if simple meetings could have taken place where people would have been able to have civil discussions. But I was told, don't, and there's people here who were actually precluded when they wanted to go to some of those meetings. So just want everybody to remember that.
Any other legislators? Legislator Crowley.
Having a hard time with this one. We watched last year, many of the other farms get denied, spend money, go through this process, and now it's like Groundhog Day again. We're here. I'm the liaison for the Ag Board, and I don't want people spending money. I want the process to work the right way. I want it to be a transparent process, and I want it to be for the right reasons, and we need to do better and make sure it is a process that is outlined and that we understand each and every application when it comes before us to make a vote, so we don't end up here every single year. It's not fair to the farmers, it's not fair to the taxpayers, it's not fair to any of us. And this one's a hard one for me because I feel like mistakes were made in the past. I feel like mistakes were made this year and we're correcting them. And I don't know if it's always in the best manner. And, you know, our county attorney, you know, has given us advice, and I'm having a hard time, but we need to continue to move forward and do better. Because this can't be an every year thing.
Anyone else? I mean, for me, I struggle with this as well. I think the problem for me is, and I did not support this. I mean, I supported the Ag Board's decision. I think the Ag Board did a great job this year. We have a new Ag Board. They're all volunteers, and I think they did a great job. And really weighed across, it was equally weighed across all the farms, in my estimation. The problem is the startup. I think that was something that we misunderstood, or from what I'm understanding from the law department, is it's a misunderstanding when the startup begins. So I'm still not clear on that. It's the first time I've heard it. I've been on the Ag Board for many years. I thought you were, as a startup, you had to be in business for at least 2 years. And then after that fact, you were in the Ag District. So that's a different interpretation of startup that I had not heard before discussing this with the law department. So that, it's difficult for me to weigh that. I don't, you know, and I also have to take the advice of my counsel, so I'm struggling with this. Anyway. Any further comments from the legislature? Okay, so we will have a roll call vote.
Legislator Adnizio. Legislator Birmingham.
Yes.
Legislator Crowley.
Yes.
Legislator Elmer.
No.
Legislator Goldman.
Yes.
Legislator Yonke.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery. Legislator Russo.
No.
Chairwoman Sage.
I'm really struggling with this. I'm going to accept the advice of counsel, and based on only the advice of counsel, yes.
Motion carries.
I'm like standing. Okay, so agenda item number 6 is adjournment. Do I have a second?
Amy?
All in favor?
Chairwoman? May I make a motion?
For,
I would like to reconsider another farm that was not considered for,
this is only voting on the lawsuit for litigation.
I understand, but
This is
I can make a motion for that.
not on a special full, you can't.
Not on a special, it has to be
No,
pre-filed.
you can't. Yeah.
Heather, is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
So I will make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye.